Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. We're going to talk about how Ana works, or Anna, I don't know how to say her name. Either way, she's Farah's mom. She's cool. She's a support sniper, and she has a lot of interesting abilities that are going to change how the game works. So I'm kind of going off of a Reddit post, a weekly hero discussion on the Reddit, the Overwatch Reddit subreddit, I guess. So all that information is coming from there. The other thing you need to remember too with any of this stuff I'm going to be talking about is it's on the public test realm, which is a separate version of the game which you can download for free if you own the game, and it means that anything in there can be tweaked by Blizzard. Like it's not the live game, so she could be different when she comes to the official game in probably a few weeks, I would assume. So just take it with a grain of salt, I guess, all the information here, but it's likely that not much will be changed, I think. I mean, there might be some tweaks, but I bet this is roughly how she's going to play. I'll try to talk about her abilities more general, I guess, because, like the specific seconds, like, 1.5 seconds versus what it might be when she comes out, it might be a big difference, but it might still be worth talking about, like the actual ability, or it is worth talking about the actual ability. So anyway, let's get right into it. So she has a Biotic Rifle as her primary weapon, well, her only weapon. It's a scoped rifle. It shoots healing darts, I guess. I think they're darts. I don't actually know what they are. Either way, they heal your allies, so you can just shoot at your teammates and they will get a little bit of healing. The healing is, I believe, 75 according to this map, or this breakdown, I guess, on Reddit. She deals 80 damage to enemies, and the key thing to note here, or there's a couple things, is that she does not get any bonuses from doing headshots. So if you're trying to damage an enemy as Ana, you don't need to aim for their head. You can just hit them. Also, for healing, it doesn't get like better when you heal them in the head for some reason, which would be really funny if that was a thing, but it's not. She can shoot, I think it's like 1 round per second, because it's a bolt action rifle, so it's not like Widowmaker where she can shoot a bunch of shots, and it doesn't like have like a damage boost or whatever, and like an effectiveness boost if you hold the scope open for longer than like 1 second. You just scope and shoot. The other thing to note is that when you are scoped, her shots are hit scan, which just means that as soon as you press fire on an enemy or an ally, it will hit them immediately. There's no travel time. There's no actual bullet flying through the space towards them. But when you're not scoped, there is a travel time. So there's some talk, I guess, about a little bit of a strategy with her is to if like an enemy or mostly I guess it would be applied to a friendly is semi far away, you can shoot them without a scope and then scope really quickly, basically a quick scope, I guess, and shoot immediately as soon as the scope comes up, and then get back out of it, and that would be faster than scoping and shooting twice, like 2 shots that are hit scan. Which is a weird thing, because that's kind of a weird thing to do, like shoot and then scope and then shoot really quickly. It's just a little like trick, I guess, and there are some of those kind of things across the other characters in the game, so maybe that makes sense to have something like that. It's probably a very small benefit. It's kind of like the reload canceling, where people on like Reaper, because his reload animation, he throws his guns away, it takes longer, so if you melee out of the animation, you can melee just the right time where he still gets the ammo from the reload, and it's overall like a little bit faster, but it's pretty situational, and it's probably like mostly like I don't know if a bunch of pros do it, but it seems like a pro level thing that maybe won't matter very much in like public games. But either way, it's worth noting that it is faster, and it is worth noting just to know, like, if you are scoped in, you probably want to scope in if you need to get some like heals off. But the other trade-off too is that she's a sniper, so if you're not very good at sniping, you have to have a little bit harder time to try to hit the ally or enemy when you're scoped in, because they're probably moving around. But if it's a tank you're healing, they're going to be bigger characters, so it's easier to hit. That's one thing too to mention, is that she requires a little bit of skill as a sniper. So if you're not very good as a Widowmaker, you might not be very good at Ana at the beginning. But the other thing to note too is that Ana has a bigger hip. Her bullets have like a hitbox that's bigger, which basically means it's easier to hit allies or enemies when you're shooting not scoped. than it is when you're scoped. That's probably just because of the way the game has to balance hit scan versus not hit scan attacks. But anyway, there's also the sleep dart, which she has, which is her a shift ability. I guess it does 5 damage according to this breakdown. It does 5 damage, which is not. It's not. You shouldn't be dealing damage with it. You're actually putting somebody to sleep for. It looks like 5.5 seconds. I thought it was actually 5 seconds, but 5.5 maybe because it counts the animation of them flipping back and lying down. Damage will break this sleep, including your own. So if you sleep somebody and then somebody just shoots the person that you sleeped, then they'll just get back up and they'll be back at whatever they were doing again. You can do this to like any character, but I think it breaks ultimate abilities. But from what I've seen, it's not everyone. There's probably some guides out there that have the exact abilities that she can break. I know for one, she can't break Zenyatta's ultimate healing ability, but she can break like Pharah's, which is funny, but. It's a little dicey on exactly which ones. I mean, I'm sure it's known which ones, but I don't really know exactly. But I know that there's a lot of them that you can break. All the pretty obvious ones. Zenyatta seems like he should be able to be broken by the sleep, but he can't. It also has a 12-second cooldown. So that's good to note. You can't use it a lot. 12 seconds is kind of a long time in a game. I mean, you can use it quite a bit, but it also, when you shoot it, it's not instant. It's not a hit scan shot. So you need to lead it a little bit in front of like a character that's moving, and it has like a little bit. She pulls out like a pistol and shoots it. So you got to get used to the timing. It's not easy to just pull out and do. Well, at least not yet if you're not good at it. The other ability she has is a Biotic Grenade. That's her E, I believe. It deals 60 damage. I didn't know it actually dealt damage, but it does deal 60 damage. It also heals allies for 100, and it also increases their healing by 100%. And it also disables enemy healing. So that's a pretty useful thing. It has a 10-second cooldown. So that means you can chuck a grenade in there, and it has a kind of a weird throwing animation. I guess it's sort of like McCree's throwing animation. I guess it's not really an animation, just the way the mechanic works of throwing his flashbang. It kind of flies forward, and it's not like the mines on Junkrat where you have to, or like the grenade, the sticky on Tracer where you kind of have to flip your camera up. This one you can just aim up and shoot it, and it will just fly pretty far. But it does break early, because if you throw it up straight in the air, it actually breaks before it lands. So it doesn't break on impact necessarily. So if you like try to throw it across the map, it's not going to hit like at the spawn if you're really far away or something. That's something to note. I don't know if anybody knows that, but I threw it up in the air just to have fun, and it doesn't work. Like I said, it has a 10-second cooldown, so you're going to be using it quite a bit. I mean, 10 seconds is a long time, but you probably want to use it on cooldown because of that, how powerful it is. It's 100 healing, 100% extra healing. So a lot of times I would throw it and then heal my allies. Like if I had a tank going in, I would save it and then toss it on the tank, and I'd get the benefit of healing the tank immediately, getting extra healings for when I shoot the tank, and I would disable all the healing on the people around him, and the tank's probably going to be near enemies, right? And you can also use it during Zenyatta's ultimate ability, because he just heals a bunch of people in an AoE. But you chuck it right on him, and he's like right on the group of enemies that are trying to get or need to get heals. They can't get any heals for a certain amount of seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. So that's pretty strong. Also, Roadhog, like they show in the video for Ana, you can throw the grenade near Roadhog, and he just can't heal himself for a little bit, and that's pretty powerful. Disabling healing is pretty powerful. Her ultimate ability, Ana's ultimate ability, is a Nano Boost, or Nana Boost is what I've heard people call it, and I thought it was a misspelling, but it's not. She gives an ally 50% extra damage, 50% damage reduction, and 30% speed. And it has an 8-second duration, which is pretty long. And it's a really strong ultimate ability, because you just toss it on somebody like a Genji during his ult, and he just starts one-shotting people. Or you have Reinhardt, who, he already has kind of a long melee range, and he deals a lot of damage because his melee can't like be blocked or anything. And he also was slow, but as soon as you put on Nano Boost, he's fast, he deals extra damage, and he takes less damage, and he's like nearly unstoppable. Like, you want to get away from him, especially if you're in a small point, which is where he's very useful as like a Nana boosted Reinhardt. So just stay away from Reinhardt's, but it's very, if you're playing on a, toss it on tanks. I find like I tossed it on a few people like a Junkrat, which is kind of nice, but he doesn't have much health anyway, so people don't typically like. He's usually just kind of bursted down, so it's probably pretty situational. Put it on a DPS or an offensive character because it's, like, I mean, unless they're dealing a bunch of damage, like I could see a nano boosted, mercy boosted, like Soldier 76 or something that would be pretty powerful. But otherwise, it seems like it's pretty nice on tanks because keeping a tank alive longer on a point just seems really useful. But I'm sure there will be people using it on certain other characters whenever they need to, especially in like pro play. One of the things with Ana is she's not the best healer. I'm not a great player, but I feel like I was always healing at least half or maybe a little bit less than that, or I guess a little bit more than that, of the other healers like Lucio and Mercy, because they have constant healing, and compared to Ana has to shoot every time, and she can increase her healing, but she doesn't do that much healing with just regular shots. So she's more like Zenyatta to me in a way but Zenyatta even heals faster than her, I believe. So she's more like she's not a very strong healer, and she can help in certain situations, but I don't know if she can be like the best on her own. So you're gonna have to be careful with how you use Ana. She's just not. I just don't think she can hold a team on her own, especially teams that are spread out. And if you're not a very good sniper, it can be pretty hard to hit somebody like Pharah flying in the air, compared to having like her just being healed passively by Lucio. So I don't know. She's an interesting character. She's going to be useful because of that sleep dart and the Biotic Grenade. Like disabling healing and disabling a character for basically 5 seconds is really strong, and also the ability to heal. So that's why I think she has those abilities. She can't move around like Widowmaker, like she can't like climb walls or anything. So that makes sense that she has abilities that are more close range and able to protect herself. But I just don't know. Like, and also as I've been playing the PTR again, it's a lot of other moms playing with me, so it's hard to tell. But if you die as her, you really lose out on like healing, because she has to be close. Mostly close, I mean mid-range maybe, to really get some healing done. You don't get a lot of healing done if you're just dying all the time, and I know that kind of applies to Mercy and Lucio and Zenyatta, but it just seems like it applies more to Ana because she doesn't get that much healing out in the first place, and she doesn't deal a ton of damage. So it's like you gotta kind of push one or the other depending on the situation, and I just don't know if you're ever going to be really matching the healing levels of the other characters. And I don't think that's the point. I think the point of her is to be useful compared to like a Zenyatta. Zenyatta can like damage people, but he can't like shut anybody down for his teammates like Ana can do. So I don't know. She's pretty situational in a lot of ways, but she is going to be pretty useful because of those abilities, the Sleep Dart and the Biotic Grenade, and the Nano Boost. The Nano Boost is very strong too. I just don't know about the healing, and they might tweak that by the time she comes to the live game, but we'll see. But anyway, that's how Ana works for right now. I think she's a pretty strong character. She's really fun to play. But it's hard to tell when we got a bunch of Anas on one team in the PTR, which happens all the time. I don't know if it's going to be like, well, if you have a good Tracer or Genji, she's just going to be destroyed on the live game. Who knows? So we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, I've got a couple other videos on Ana already. I'll probably have some more maybe. I want to look at Diva's changes and Zenyatta's changes and the Mercy changes, because Mercy's like the main character I play, so I probably will do that in the future. But yeah, so look forward to more Overwatch videos. See you next time.